Thanks very much for being with us, Mr. Parekh. Let's just go through a couple of the points that have actually been mentioned in this report. Firstly, no law violated in the rise of the Adani share price, and that SEBI was fully aware of changes in the share price. These 2 points, how are they really significant in terms of the overall report?
So I would say, that's kind of 90% of the issue if you think of it, because the rest of it is, I think, technical, which I'll explain in a bit. The key issue is, was there any fraud or manipulation? And, if there was no even at a prima facie stage, they've not found fraud, that means that obviously at the end stage, with a 10% probability you don't find fraud, obviously with a 95% probability you certainly won't find fraud. So I think seems like almost kind of the writing on the wall, so to speak, on this. I think the other issue which you've not asked about is, I think, is much more trivial, and I think it's been given a lot of importance, which is the minimum public shareholding, which is also connected to the end beneficial ownership. That are the promoters themselves owning shares of the company but not disclosing. That's really the second issue, which is clubbed together. One aspect is the beneficial ownership, the other is the minimum public shareholding. And I think that's simply a minor thing, because if you've been reading the papers past several years, lots and lots of public sector companies are actually not fulfilling MPS norms. So that's kind of more to do with something which is good to have, but it's not. It's in no way kind of a serious offense like fraud or front running or insider trading.
How important was that testimony of the Mauritian minister who looks after their regulatory system, and what he remarked that there is no illegal existence of shell companies in the Mauritius? How important is it in supporting or backing or reinforcing some of the points mentioned by the Supreme Court report?
I think it's important because it goes to the second point of, there's been no misreporting as far as ultimate beneficial ownership goes. And of course, Adani Group has stated on affidavit that they are in fact genuine entities and not kind of connected to the promoters. So ultimately, of course, it will the SEBI committee will supervise the SEBI investigation, which is going to be tabled before the Supreme Court on the 14th of August or before that. So we'll, of course, these are just prima facie views which have come out. It's not the last chapter; it's really the first chapter. But I think, as I said, the main thing is fraud and manipulation of the markets, and I think they seem to have got a clean sheet on that.
Mr. Parekh, is it not deeply problematic in our system that political leaders, political parties in Parliament would go on and on and on this particular issue, further eroding shareholder wealth, the wealth of companies themselves, India's international reputation, and a lot of this, when there was already a Supreme Court monitored panel which was looking into these allegations?
That's the nature of politics, right? I think if they get fodder, why not use it? So I guess it's kind of the group is an easy target because, given the known proximity to the actually all governments, but they're being called out as being close to the current government. But I think they have solid assets. The ports are world class. They have cement factories which they acquired, which are good. So I think they all own solid assets. Today I came in the Bombay airport, which is, I think, again world class. I came from Changi, which is considered to be a great airport. So I think they have fabulous assets. It's just, I think, at what price they're kind of traded is obviously, whether it's too high or too low. I don't think it's for people to really second guess. They were indeed quite high relative to their peers, and they have fallen. So when people complain about falling prices, people don't see how much they'd gone up in the past. So broadly, I'm not too concerned about the stock price of the company itself. But yes, you're absolutely right that there seems to be a lot of political kind of undercurrent behind this entire case.
And the implications of that, my point is absolutely huge. It's unbelievable. I mean, how huge it has been. and no one could wait for this report. But be that as it may, there's another key point over here in the report, and I'm going to quote from it. The ED has intelligence of potentially violative selling before the report was made public, and that this may lead to charges of concerted destabilization of Indian markets. So this is more than just the Hindenburg report itself. The Hindenburg comes out with a report and they make a statement saying that we are short sellers and we are doing what we are doing, and therefore we are not fraudulent. However, the moment the Supreme Court panel says that there was an effort at destabilizing Indian markets and that they have intelligence of something like this happening even before the report, would it be wrong of me to ask whether there was a conspiracy?
So I guess we'll have to wait on the 14th August to kind of answer your question. I have no kind of special knowledge of what happened, which are the entities who had access to the Hindenburg report before it was published. But certainly, if there is, there's sufficient evidence of kind of either a beer cartel or kind of short selling, which is manipulating of nature, I think SEBI and the committee will certainly look at it.
All right, Mr. Parekh, thanks very much for sharing your views.